Evening, Colin. You all right?
I have to say, good evening, everybody, by the way. I'm absolutely terrified about tonight because we've had nothing but problems. Apparently,
What do you
mean? Toby Lock's already here.
I know. I told you, mate. I told you. Look, despite gremlins in the works, I've managed to get most of it back up. Don't know what's gone on over the last 24 hours with Restream, but it has been a nightmare, Cole. A nightmare. Still, we do have, I don't know how long it's going to last for, but we do have, if I do this, look, YouTube comments. Evening, Matt. Thanks for joining. Evening, Chris. Thanks for joining. See, look, where one door opens, another one closes, Cole. Last week that didn't work. Now it's working. Got nothing. I've got nothing. What can you say?
No
anyway,
wonder I
how are you
feel
doing,
mate? It's so good.
We're there. We're here.
We're
here.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. On the bottom of the screen. Say hello.
There we go.
Tell us where you're watching from. Are you watching on YouTube, on a widescreen TV, in your lounge, frightening yourself to death with the images of me and Aidan?
I'm saying
what
nothing.
Is it?
I'm saying
We're one man light tonight. We're one man light.
We are one man light tonight, and I have to say, look, before we go into hellos and get evenings on the Facebook on the other screen, yeah, I mean James's daughter has. Yeah, I know, I did that way. I'm trying to work out which way it is. That way. It's definitely that way. James is in hospital with his daughter who cut herself.
Florence.
She's not in a great place. Florence. Yeah. So hopefully all bearing well. It doesn't sound like it's too bad, but better to be safe than sorry. So James, I know you'll be watching on your mobile.
In hospital.
Fingers crossed all is okay in hospital. And all the best, mate. Hope that little Florence is okay as well, mate. But there we go. So yeah, just the two of us with a special guest.
Well, and maybe another one later.
Maybe another one later. Maybe even one we didn't know we had until this afternoon, Cog.
After we've done the script. I mean, you know. Cheers, John.
Indeed. Anyway, we do have our guest already in the green room, so we'll bring him in shortly. Right. I would say it's a surprise, but we mentioned it last week, the week before. So we'll come on to our esteemed guest shortly. Some might say last week you had a really good week off on the show that he was due to be coming on, but I believe he was having a champagne supernova. But we don't look back.
No, not at all. Yeah. I mean, this show is an oasis for talent, isn't it?
It is. I mean, definitely, maybe, at least, Colin. I'd give it that. Who knows? Maybe we'll ask. I
was going to write him a jingle this afternoon, but it didn't look very good of him walking across the water on the oasis.
Would have been. And when you could have painted one on a wall, it'd have been a wonder wall, wouldn't it?
It would have been a wonder wall, yeah.
Anyway, Cole, we need to roll with it because we've got an agenda to get on with. See, I'm using the puns. They're just going to roll on, mate. It's going to roll on. So we've got a lot to get through tonight because last week, believe it or not, was the first game back of the season.
Yeah, so hang on. Oh, I've been thinking about this because you keep these things secret from me because I'll get too excited, don't I? So I know we were averaging about 1,200 views per show last season. Because we moved to the new platforms, added new platforms, we were hoping to get about 2,000 views a week, weren't we? That was our aim, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't think we were going to hit it straight. All right, dudes.
Evening, Paul. Thanks for joining on the YouTube. And may I say, we have got two very esteemed watchers who you and I have a lot of time for. We have Sheila watching on Facebook, and we have Russ watching on YouTube. So we've got both of the forums on. So thank you, Sheila and Russ, for joining as well.
Fantastic.
Anyway, Colin, sorry.
So we were aiming to get it up to about 2,000 by the end of the season, weren't we?
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Hang on, drum roll. How many views did we get last week?
Across all platforms, currently we are just shy of 5,000 views. That is mind-blowing. Yeah. Cannot say how humble that is for us as just the two of us. We do this for fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously. Obviously, we try and put a bit of fun into the content. We get esteemed guests on who will be coming on shortly, who raised the bar only for us to then drop it down the next week. So, I mean, there we go. But yeah, I mean, a phenomenal effort, Cole. And I say some of those were from our opposition in Oldham. There was some from US, Australia, our fans abroad. Had some really lovely comments come in the inbox as well to say everyone.
Yeah, I read a few of those. I got a bit of hate mail as well, but I mean,
who doesn't, right?
Yeah, that was a bit foxy. That one. I might be.
Indeed. But we do have a lot to get to tonight, so I will indeed kick off with telling everyone what we're going to be talking about tonight. So we have our special guest, our very own Citizen Kane. Some would say our MK citizen, Mr. Toby Locke, coming on shortly as well to talk about all things Don's pre-season, his thoughts of the season, the game last weekend, and more. We've got the wonderful Luke Payne, aka our very own Chris Kamara, with Payne's previews are back, Cole. They are back.
Well, we did miss them last week. That was mainly because he forgot, wasn't it?
What? No, because there was no game.
That's a bloody good point.
Yeah, it is. It's his player rating. Okay. So there we go.
He can't get player ratings. We're going to talk about.
Well, exactly what he could do. It'd be quite fun. He could do a prediction like Mystic Meg. But we've got the baseball cap competition. We'll talk about that. We've got to talk about the new bars as well, because obviously Club Red, Lewington's. I was in Lewington's and got some thoughts on that. But love to hear everyone's thoughts.
What did you think of the refurbished bars?
Absolutely. We want to hear from you as well. So any topics that you guys want to bring in on any of the socials, just give us a shout. We'll read out what we can as we go through the night. Warning talks. We're still more players in and out. We've talked about that as well. Hendry potentially on his way out. He's been transferred.
Did you see what I wrote in the comment?
I did.
I'm a cruel man. I wrote, and I'm going to take ownership of this.
Go on.
I was going to say, Callum Hendry's been free to leave. Will anybody notice?
Brutal. I tell you what. I mean, we'll come on to. I don't want to go into
it. But that.
And absolutely. I like him. I'll be honest. He's a hard worker. He's one of the hardest moderators we've had. So I'll be sad to see him go. But at the end of the day, that's life, right? I know you were, mate. I know you were. Anyway, so that we'll talk about the Barrow game. We'll do some stats and bits and bobs. We're also having a special guest on from the Robin's Nest YouTube channel. For our Bristol City build-up. So Tom's going to be coming on to talk all things Bristol City. Obviously, we can ask about Liam Manning, Scott Twine, you name it. Anything else everyone else wants to talk about, that's what we're here for.
What about the Barrow?
So quite a lot.
Barrow guest?
Our Barrow guest, unfortunately, is working tonight. Very short notice, but he did do a view from the other side. So we did have a written request.
I'm going to do a quick impression. Can anybody tell me who this is?
Well, we'll be here all night if you do that.
Go on then, get Tobe on.
I will do. I said you guys are the pride of place on my big screen. Now you're on YouTube. That's from Matt. Matt, thank you. I hope your TV doesn't crack. We didn't put makeup on, so there we go.
Game two.
Appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. Indeed, and we'll be talking more about that as the season comes on, because we are in discussions with someone who's going to be coming on, hopefully monthly, to talk about the women's game. So there we go. As I say, we talked about the Robin's Nest. Tom and say the chat. He's got hi chaps. Looking forward to coming on in a bit. So again, thanks to Tom and the team at Bristol City. Fans there, you just want to talk about the games and things that we're going to go through for that game because it's going to be interesting. To be honest, there's a bit of a connections there. He said, the clash of Twine and Manning. I mean, again, I was really hoping Manning would still be at Bristol. I don't know why he's gone to Norwich, but we'll talk to Tom about that a little bit later as well. But yeah, needless to say, let's bring in our esteemed guest, who some might say
he's only been waiting 10 minutes.
Yeah,
but we waited all last week. I mean, so who cares? Yeah,
we did. Yeah, he's rolled with it all the way on from Wembley to the show because he knew where his bread was buttered. Mr. Toby Locke. Evening, Toby.
All right, boys, how we doing? Apologies for last week.
We're doing really well. We're doing really well. How are you doing? You enjoyed the show, more importantly, last week?
Unbelievable. Might be the best gig I've ever been to. It was unbelievable.
What about Oasis?
That's the bar.
The fuzzy bits that I can remember, yeah. Fantastic. No, it was really, really good. Really good. I can recommend if anybody gets the opportunity to go to any of the gigs that they got left. Don't hang about. Definitely go. It was an unbelievable show.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Some strange reason I've got very bright.
Yeah, well, there you go. Angelic, some would say, Colin. Angelic. There we go. But yeah, I mean, Toby. So we had your counterpart last week, Mr. Paul Dixon, on, and obviously he was talking about all his views and sort of bits and pieces as well. But I guess so. We'll go on to the game for last week, and we'll talk a little bit more of that. But I mean, how have you rated? I guess the close season since, I guess, what was, dare I say, a fiasco of a season last season for a number of factors. I think we all know that. Obviously, Paul coming in for the last few games, getting a chance to look at the squad, then into the close season. And I think we talked about last week, probably the biggest close season I've seen in my time with the MK Dons or even my Wimbledon days, in terms of the window, the players, the caliber of players that we're getting in as well. It's been a real sit back and sort of stand up for me, particularly for League Two. But I'd love to get your thoughts. What have you thought about how the progression, the closed window, the pre-season?
I actually think it's been a lot quieter in terms of a window than I thought it was going to be. Over the last 3 or 4 summers, we've seen double figures in terms of players coming in. Yep. So far, we've seen 7, and one of them is a third-choice goalkeeper. So it's not like he's completely reinvented the wheel. He's not ditched everybody that was part of the team last year. He's come in. He's brought in players that he thinks will go and do a job. He's brought in a couple that he knows that he can rely on. But in terms of recruitment, I mean, he's gone out and got people who the rest of the league has looked at and gone, okay, we're gonna have our work cut out when we play MK Dons. Hopefully, when they bed in and when the ball's properly rolling.
Don't say gel.
But it's but we've been in this situation before. We was in this situation last summer. Yeah. We was in the situation the summer before. So
this feels different though, Toby, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does. It really does. Not like I felt it before as well. Even though there was a lot of confidence when Graham Alexander took over, it still felt like it was a change that the club wasn't ready for.
Yeah.
The whole MK way nonsense was still firmly in effect, wasn't it? Everybody was still thinking, oh, no, this is the right way to do it. This is the right way to do it. And they've gone suspiciously quiet all of a sudden. And I think the club wasn't ready for the changes that Graham made. And it was probably similar when Robbie Nielsen came in. Everybody was used to playing Carl football, watching Carl football, the personalities that Carl brought in. Robbie Nielsen had the job to go and gut that and try and start again. He went down the wrong path. The club wasn't ready to accept that. I think after so many crap nights last season, it was horrible. Every single game felt horrible last season. It was
painful, wasn't it? It was painful.
Yeah, and for all me and Paul will talk about anything but football in car journeys on the way home, we just angry ranted so many times on the way home from games that it took all of the fun out of going to watch a game of football.
Yeah.
It was
it really was.
It
and you guys will have felt it the same as us.
Oh God, it was bloody awful.
Probably 10 times more as well, because it's your passion and what you guys, you're giving up your time now to talk about this nonsense football world that we all operate in.
I know. Yeah.
But it just felt like around February, March time that everybody was done with what MK Dons were doing.
I've never felt so much.
Completely gutting and
I never felt so much around probably late January, February. I just wanted the season over. If somebody had said to me, "You're safe, you're staying up, it's over," I'd have gone, "Great." What about the 6 league games you got left at home? Oh, I don't care. I just don't want to go.
No.
But I think for me, and I think, like I said to Paul last week, it was that whole culmination of factors for me, Toby. It's like you had, I felt, a transfer window where we were just, I think we talked about last season, we're just buying for the sake of buying because maybe that person wasn't free and then they came free, so we got too many of one set of player. You then had Mike then leave, which caused a bit of flux. Then you have Lindsay come in. It starts great, which probably saved us ultimately, that run that we had. And it fell to pieces, and he became almost intransigent as a manager to listen or reason. Then blaming the fact that, when he's sitting there on our post-match interviews going, well, it's the players that that were chosen. It's like, you're the manager.
I haven't coached him. That was one of his favourite lines, and I'm thinking, well, there ain't been anyone else in charge for the last 6 months, Scott.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that. Then the caretaker. I call it the fiasco, and no disrespect to Ben Gladwin, but like to leave the team in place that were there, that were on the part of the decline, did seem odd to me. And it just carried on, for want of a better phrase. And then obviously Paul came in and just got a chance really to have a look at it. So I think, when you look at that season, you step back, I think it started with that transfer window, just like you say, buying for buying's sake, just to have bodies in the door, not necessarily the right amount. When you look at Doncaster and how they did their business, they were looking at depth in right positions. I think that's what we've done this season a little bit. And I think that's the key differentiator for me, is the players we've got in have been, I wouldn't say landmarks, probably too powerful a phrase. There's been obviously Mendes Lang, there's probably a standout there, but have been high quality players that you would sit up.
We said this last week, though, didn't we? That Mendes Lang was like, I felt, and I said it to Paul Dixon last week. Mendes Lang seemed to be the ground bait going in the water. That signing,
100%.
That signing. You can imagine Paul Wall going up to prospective signees and saying to them, well, we signed Mendes Lang last week, didn't they? And they're going, what?
Yeah. 100%. That was absolutely.
And everyone's built on top of that, isn't it? Everyone's built on top of that.
Yeah, of course. You always need that one landmark guy to come in, and you need it done early doors so that you can set your stall out. And like you say, Cole, just say to people, we got Mendes, right? And everyone else can go, oh, really? Shit, okay, let's have a go.
Yeah.
And I think that's worked. I think a lot of people will have looked at that signing and gone, oh, well, if they're attracting a guy who's played a lot of football at a very, very good level, he must be doing something right. And MK Dons are going to be chucking a lot of the Arsenal at it this season. So I think a lot of people would certainly be interested in joining that. And no one's here to stick around in League Two for more than a season.
No. Well, these players we've signed on are certainly looking at promotion, aren't they? That is 100%, isn't it? I mean, I would like to think what will happen if we don't get promoted this year. I mean, it'd be. It was scrapping up at the end last year.
Well, I think they need to. If they don't do it this year, with this that they've built, I think there needs to be questions, not necessarily about the first team. It needs to be about how it's put together, and everything else that goes along with it. Because you keep changing managers, keep changing squads,
and it's not working.
And that's not working. Well, what's the other common denominator that we got going on? Well, it's not.
I think we know what you mean, Toby.
I hate to use the old cliches, Cole, but I mean, again, I think with Vaughan, if it, God forbid, touch wood, if it doesn't go the way, I still think we'll be top 3.
Yeah, I think I don't think it will be as one-sided as many are predicting. I don't think they're going to go win it by 15, 20 points. But
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think because it was the Peterborough owner who said, "Oh, they'll run away with it. Will be there by Christmas." I mean, it'd be lovely.
Oh,
Don't get me wrong,
if everything's high and dry on January the 1st,
yeah,
I'll just take 2 months holiday and I'll come back in April and
job done.
Hopefully.
Job done. Yeah. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, I think like you, this league proved last year, no one has got a God-given right to get out of it. Anyone can beat anyone on their day. And I think that leads us quite nice into the weekend as well, because when I looked at that game, everyone's going, oh, it should be a good start. I was actually not looking forward to playing Oldham.
No, I think that's probably about the worst team we could have played other than Barnet.
Yeah, I think so, because I think for me, they had a good run in the pre-season. The way they won that final in the Wembley, dead and buried pretty much, and then out of nowhere just came back and won it. And you could see that togetherness in their team. They might not have, no disrespect to Oldham, they've got quality, but they haven't got the level of quality on paper that we have. But you could see they were fighting for it. I think for me, the mindset, which will be interesting to see how other teams do this, but I felt they'd come for a draw.
Yeah.
That's how it seemed to me. It's like, right, how do we just stick this out, grind them down?
You saw their goalkeeper in about the 70 whatever minute sort of thing, and rather than take the free kick, he was just kicking it around in the box. He got no interest in getting on with the game.
No interest.
But I mean, the referee didn't help the situation either, did we? But we'll probably talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing for me anyway. For Toby's, I wonder how many teams are going to look at that game and go, right, that's what we now need to go and do at Stadium MK when we go and play. We're not there to win it.
That is the fear for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always been the case. I think it's been the case for so many years at Stadium MK. When they were a decent team, I mean, we saw it in Liam Manning's era, teams would come to set up thinking, we know how to stop MK Dons. We'll just put 2 banks of 5 in front of the goalkeeper and say,
break us down.
Yeah, 100%. That's all you need to do. Sit on the edge of your 18, 2 banks of 5, and hope for a counter. And how many times have we seen it work?
Oh yeah.
Well, get beat 1-0 at home with an 86.
The funny thing is, Toby, the more it went on Saturday, I mean, I said after 5 minutes, this has got 0-0 written all over it because you could tell what Oldham were up to. And I thought the only thing in the back of my mind was that, oh, my God, you just know this is going to happen. And when that guy went down in our box, I thought, shit, this referee, anything was possible. And I thought, thank God he booked him for diving. I mean, I couldn't even tell if it was a dive, but I mean, I was grateful.
What did you guys make of the penalty, not penalty? Because from where I was set, it looked like he was opening the door, or he's gone to point at the spot and then gone.
Yeah.
Well,
this is the thing.
It looked like a pen all day long that he pointed at.
It might, from where I sit in the couch, I thought it was a penalty. Absolutely. And even on the replay, I think it's a penalty. But it was almost like he was like pointing to the spot, changed his mind, started doing some kind of weird ballet as he was walking towards
exactly.
But
over there.
In my mind, if you're not given a penalty, but if you're not given a penalty, he's got to give him a card for diving, and he gave neither.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, so to me, I mean, again, I think he was non-league ref last season from memory, but there was just no accountability, and he just seemed to lose the game.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the decision, but that probably cost us the game. I think if we'd have put that away, we'd have probably won 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case with Dons this season. I think if they get 1, it throws that door open. I mean, football's an easy game in that sense that if you go 1 goal down, you've got to go chasing. And if you go chasing, leave more holes at the back. That's
talking of referees, League 2, unfortunately, we're going to get the newbies from the National League, and that's another bloody good reason to get out of it. Yeah,
100%. Like, but that's the thing, isn't it? Like, these are all things that the club has to deal with because this is what the 3rd, 4th year that they've been in the division. Like, this should never have been on the cards.
Oh, you've even got a good evening there from Paul Franklin.
Oh, nice one. All right, Paul.
Evening, Paul. But no, so for me, I mean, when I looked at that game, and I looked at the setup, because again, I was away, unfortunately, for most of pre-season, so I didn't get to see too much of it. But you look at last season, the form. I looked at the games, obviously, for pre-season, the last 4 or 5 that we lost in pretty much in a row. So you start to think, oh, crikey, is this going to be... Not that it's indicative necessarily of what comes for a season, but you do start thinking about it. And I was really impressed, I have to say. And for me, actually, the standout wasn't Mendes Lang for me. It was Jack Sanders.
Really?
I thought, he was... Yeah, I thought he was...
It was Kelly for me.
Kelly, no, I'm not saying Kelly wasn't, but for me, I thought what Sanders was doing is the sort of defending I've not seen since we probably had Darling and O'Hora.
It was...
I don't think he's quite as cultured as Darling or O'Hora.
Not
I think he's more of a he's a League Two centre half, and he's no nonsense. He'll win his headers. He'll stick somebody on his backside. He'll win free kicks, and he'll be a threat at corners. That's kind of what you want at this level, right?
Toby, what was your opinion of Patterson when he came on?
Well, he's signed as a number 9, but I think he did everything but be a number 9 on Saturday.
I mean, he ran back and made that in his tackle at the end, didn't he?
That one interception where he caught the guy on the break, I think shows everything that you can get from Callum Patterson. I think because he's this utility man, because he grew up playing at right back, played centre mid, he's played everywhere but in goal. I think. I think you kind of got to drum that out of him if you are going to play him specifically as a number 9.
Right.
You can be guilty of doing too much. We've all seen players who do too much. Because he can play everywhere, because he's used to playing everywhere, he will put in those runs. But if he puts in those runs, wins the ball, he's then 80 yards in the wrong direction. So he has to kind of, in the same way that we saw with Max Dean, he was always dropping deep. He'd be in the centre circle, lay a ball off, and then they'd be halfway up the pitch. You think, well, Max, you're supposed to be getting on the end of this cross. So I think he needs to look. I mean, he's out to make an impression on his first day, isn't he? As we all would. Not sure I'd be able to quite track back that much that quickly because I don't run. But I don't think he. I think he just needs to rein it in a little bit. But thank goodness he was there because there was nobody else even.
And a surprise long throw in his locker.
Yeah, right. Can't remember the last time we saw anybody with a decent long throw.
Jude.
Yeah, Jude maybe. I know Dan Harvey had one, but we very rarely saw it.
Yeah.
Because if he's throwing it 20 yards, that's 15 yards too far for some managers, isn't it?
I wouldn't go as far as it reminded me of that cup final with Tranmere Leicester with Dave Challoner. Do you remember when he used to throw those balls right into the penalty area? I was just like, I wasn't
expecting to do a Dave Challoner tonight. I'll be honest with you.
Well, there you go, right? Show my age there for you, Toby. But yeah, I remember those days well. But it was like it just took me to that. I was like, I was not expecting.
No, not at all.
To be fair, but I think to your point, like with Patterson, like as you say, probably out to prove a point. But it reminded me a little bit like last season with Crowley trying to do everything because there was just a lack of support there. And I do. I mean, again, we're bedding in. These things will take a few games to iron out, I guess. But I do feel the quality's there this season. Although, interestingly, when you think of the likes of Crowley and others that are injured, due to come back, so there's even more really to where do they go? I'm quite hopeful. I mean, I think the depth that we've got this season and the ability to change things, and what I like from Warne, which I didn't see with Lindsay really last season, was he changed the formation as the game went on. So, 4-3-3 holding midfielder. Then 4-2-4 from 4-2-4 and then 4-3-3, but with an attacking midfielder towards the end of the game. So that was interesting to see the significant changes. So he's obviously got the ability to adapt, and I think that's something we've all been craving for
years. Yeah. I mean, how many managers have we asked about Plan B and going, no, Plan B's do A better? It's like,
that was Carl Robinson, wasn't it?
Yeah. But it's spiraled since then. Russ never moved, Liam never moved, Mike never moved, Scott never moved. Like, you've got to have that versatility because one way isn't going to win a football match. They'll be the first ones to tell you there's more than one way of winning it. Well, heaven forbid you play a different way then, and you might get somewhere. I mean, look, it's still so early. I still think he's. He's got another few weeks left of this window, and I don't think he's done tinkering. I think
the rumour is 2 more, isn't it?
I think
one apparently.
I think he'll want at least 2.
Yeah.
I think he's got to get cover at fullback.
Yeah.
If not,
yeah,
someone else in at fullback. If Joe Tomlinson gets injured, who are you playing that left-hand side?
Yeah. And what are you thinking for the other one, Tobe?
I think there'll be a centre half. I think he wants a centre half. And it wouldn't surprise me if he goes and gets more width as well, just as cover. I know that he's got plenty of options when it comes to that sort of thing. Aaron Nemain seems like he's done well enough in pre-season to kind of justify his spot, but there's not masses amounts of width, I don't think, width that you can 100% rely on anyway. And I think that's where you might look if options come up.
Right. Aidan, I don't know whether you want to show Luke Payne. Do you want to do that now?
Yeah, we can do Payne's preview for the game, and then we can talk about that.
And do a few socials and have a brief chat with Toby about Barrow and Bristol. And we got a guest coming on about 8:30 from Bristol. He's sitting in the green room now, I believe. So, Toby, if you want to hang around, please hang around. If you want to go,
I've got till 9 o'clock, boys. So yeah, all good.
Okay,
fantastic.
Brilliant.
Right, we'll run the VT.
Right, go for it.
Football's back. Finally, at long last, we are back. And that, of course, means I'm back with my little review video things for Don's Unplugged. So, of course, the first game to cover is Oldham. And, I mean, as far as opening day games go, probably a little bit anticlimactic, if we're being honest. There wasn't that much in the game. I think we cancelled out them, they cancelled out us. I think we've seen the fundamentals of Warren's style of play coming into effect. There are a lot of crosses into the box. I think it was 27 off the top of my head. We just weren't necessarily connecting with them. The cross completion rate in comparison to the amount of crosses coming in, very, very low. I like the defence. I like the defensive setup. I think there was only one chance that bothered me, and it wasn't even the one they got on target. And that was the one between Offord and Jones. I think it was the shot taken by Kane Drummond. They kind of skewed wide. But outside of that, I don't think they offered all that much going forward. Although he was winning a lot of headers up front, I think we cancelled out Mike Fondop relatively well. But yeah, it was just going forward. That's the problem. Obviously, the big talking point is we got no shots on target, which is true. But I'm not all that concerned, to be honest. Certainly not at this stage. I do think we missed a trick a little bit by not moving Collins towards the left, as I think that's where we were getting the most space. And that's typically where he would be better anyway. But I don't know. I think things will click. We know there are goals in this team because we signed Crawley's top scorer, we signed Bolton's top scorer and player of the season, we signed two forwards from the Championship. There are goals in this team, so I'm not worried that it hasn't clicked in the first 90 minutes of competitive football. If I'm being totally honest, I do think highlight for me, Liam Kelly, just as a whole, his recovery runs, the way he was reading the game, controlled it wonderfully. And if he can maintain that level, then, I mean, that spot's his, and it's just a case of who the other two are. And I think we will see a bit of rejigging in the midfield and possibly up front as well. I think Kane Thompson-Summers hasn't looked as good as he did in pre-season, so I wouldn't be surprised if he came out for Collar or Lemonhay Evans. And I also think Patterson could potentially make a start, because next up it's Barrow. And Barrow are going to set up in a very similar way to what Oldham did. And obviously Oldham didn't necessarily sit that deep. They were just very physical. At home, Barrow are going to do the exact same thing. And they're a bit of an interesting side. They played Chesterfield first, and who we consider to be a free-scoring team. Chesterfield only had 7 shots free on target. So Barrow are going to be tough to break down. They've got a new-look midfield. All of their previous midfield have been signed by League One clubs, but they're still going to be very tricky to break down, and it'll be an interesting test to see if we've come up with solutions to the problems we've faced from the first game week. But Like I said, first game week back, I'm optimistic. There are positive signs, and I think still lots to look forward to. Come on, you Dons.
Well,
as
a few
always,
good points there.
great points.
A few points there, but
Yeah.
two. Hello, we lost Aidan for a minute there.
No,
So-
I'm in.
Crosses into the box. They weren't very good, Toby. Do you think?
Yeah,
27 we had.
Yeah, when you've got guys who are big and tall and you sling it along the floor, and then you've got guys who are a little bit on the shorter side and you're pinging it 10 foot in the air, didn't make a lot of sense to me. I remember there was a game many, many moons ago where they had Sam Baldock and Tor Andre Flo in the middle of the box, and they're, why are you playing it on the ball on the floor to Flo, and in the air to Sam Baldock? It made no sense. It felt a little bit like that. Like they got into the right positions, and it was a case of cross on site. And I think we saw quite a lot of that in pre-season. To be honest, it's head down when you're on the wing and get the ball in the mixer, irrespective of who's in there.
Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Mark just said he meant MK at the drop of a hat, not meat.
Okay. I'm talking of hats. Mark, we still owe you a hat, and you never come to see me on Saturday. God knows why. But we're going to give one away tonight, aren't we?
We are, and some other bits and pieces. But yeah,
well, you lot read that, and I'll read out the question. And it's very easy if you're paying attention. What is my usual middle show snack of choice? There you
go. If you only knew what was, well, I'm not saying because I know.
Well, you know, obviously, yeah.
Unless you've curveballed it, Cole. Unless you've curveballed.
No. It's just straight. If you know my preferred snack of choice during the show, you've seen it enough. Put it up on the screen, and we'll read it out, and you can win a free baseball cap. There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Barrow. Do you know our record against Barrow, Toby?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do.
It's shocking.
Rubbish.
Yeah. There's other words I'd use to describe it too.
I think the only result we've ever had is a 2-2 draw, and I reckon Max Dean scored them.
And that was when they scored. When Barrow scored twice in injury time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. People were walking out thinking, "Well, that was comfy."
Yeah. Oh, Graham Alexander's safe for another week.
Yeah.
That was one of the most bizarre and brilliant post-match rants that I don't think ever fully saw the light of day. It was like a 20-minute just bonkers outburst from Graham Alexander. I think the club maybe put out about 10 minutes of it, but the full whack of it was unbelievable. Like, I think we probably asked about 3 questions, and like afterwards we're all just like, okay. And then some poor fella, some poor national who was there to get a story for the Monday papers just went, is there any chance I can ask you a few questions about Max Dean? And we're all just like, mate, he's basically just quit. And you want to talk about Monday papers. Like Graham Alexander, who just got sacked yesterday, said this about Max Dean on Saturday. Like, give it up, pal. Just let it go.
Walk away.
Yeah, that was it. Especially from Graham when he was in that mood. You know, he was always great with us, and has subsequently been great with us when we've seen him. And he's, you know, I've had a bit of a back and forth with him after Bradford got promoted. But yeah, when his buttons were pressed, and they were pressed that day, he was not somebody you wanted to be around. And he was in a scary mood, and we were all just like, all right, cheers, Graham, see you later. And one guy tried to pull the pin.
It was a weird. I'll never forget it because it was just a weird interview. Like you say, Toby, it was almost bordering on dare I say, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way at all, but it's almost like mental health.
Oh, yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
for
red
sure.
flag
For sure.
because he just
I don't know why I'm laughing.
and I actually thought he was going to get violent.
Oh, yeah, that's it. And in those situations, again, when you're like, you probably can't see it on the TV, on the screens as Don's film it, but we're edging further and further back,
leaning backwards in case he lashes out.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, he was never angry with us. Like it wasn't aimed at us. I think it was the whole scenario that he was left in at that point was just like, what am I going to do if my team can't? Well, if my team shits the bed in the 90th minute when you're 2-0 up at home, what chance have I got? Do you know what I mean? And
can I just say, Christian, you're
like,
very close. You're very close, Christian.
It was very close.
Very
Christian.
close, Christian. Very close.
I will read out some Facebook comments on this screen in a bit.
Okay, all right.
Carry on.
All right. Well, while you're looking at those, I'll just to me, Toby, I was a little bit disappointed with Mendes Lang on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was quite ineffective. KTS, like Aidan and Luke said earlier, was a little bit off it. Collins didn't look comfortable. I think he picked up he was carrying his arm in a very funny way, or his shoulder or something in a very funny way.
On Friday, he went to get a ball out of some stinging nettles.
Really?
So all down his arm apparently was pretty badly stung, which was why he was carrying his arm.
Why then?
Yeah.
All right. Well, at least you've cleared that one up for us.
Do you know what? Right, you could come up with all sorts of bonkers nonsense, couldn't you? But that, I mean, you just kind of go, yeah, all right. Because we said the same. We said the same to Paul Warren after the game, and he said, "You're not going to believe this, but he's got stung all the way down his arm."
Who was that player that who got injured by standing on a Lego brick? Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
If anybody knows what player got injured and the reason he never played on the Saturday was because he stood on a Lego brick.
I remember. Was it the Spanish keeper Canizares missed the World Cup because he dropped an aftershave bottle on his foot and it ruptured the ligaments in his foot?
Yeah, that's the one.
Well,
although there you go. So at least at half time he was getting dock leaves on his arm.
Well, that's so. Well, thanks for clearing that up, Toby.
That's what I'm here for. Breaking the exclusives.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thinking about that, you must have had some. I mean, you just said about Graham Alexander was on that particular interview. I'll bet you've sat there before and thought, what the bloody hell am I listening to here? Yeah, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. Most Scott Lindsay interviews. There was some mental ones. I remember there was a game at Swindon way back, maybe 2010, 2011, something like that. And Donzo had like 5 players sent off in a row.
Right.
And I think Louis got done for elbowing someone square in the face in the first half. And it was as red card as you're going to see. But Pete Winkleman thought the refs had it out for him. So rather than sending
I remember that. Yeah.
Rather than sending Carl out, because Carl couldn't come and talk about refs, because, if you talk about refs, you're instantly strung up, aren't you? But you can't find the chairman for having a go at refs. So Pete came out and did post-match. And he was all pumped up. He was all, you know what he's like when he got that look in his eye. And he was like, right, I'm going to do it. And walked in, and there was just a room full of journos and a room full of telecameras. And he suddenly went, "Oh, I've bitten off way more than I can chew here." I thought it was just going to be Toby, Simone, and Paul. And it wasn't. It was Toby, Simone, and Paul, and about 20 other people from the Nationals and from the Swindon press as well, because they'd heard the chairman was coming down to rollock some refs. And afterwards, again, it was another one of those with the Graham Alexander. We just sat there going, what are we watching here? What is this? Like, forget everything else that's gone on.
Yeah.
What the hell is Pete doing here? Where's Carl?
Yeah.
There's been some corkers down the years. I remember Gary McKenzie got sent off at Charlton And again, they've got like an auditorium at the Valley where you sort of mill around waiting for the managers to come out. And Gary McKenzie comes out and does the post-match interview after he's been sent off. And every journalist just went, I'm sure we just watched you get sent off. He's like, yeah, I've come out. I've been sent out to come and do the post-match to apologise to everybody. And it was just like, yeah, well, if you're going to smash Jan Kermorgant in the face, you probably should come out and explain at least why. And so, yeah, another one of them where we just went, oh, okay, cool. Makes for a better post-match interview than what we'd normally get of, oh, yeah, it's always nice to win.
Well, can I just say, I've seen the comments on the screen and about what was my mid-show favourite snack. Nobody's got it yet. I mean, a few people are on the right lines, but you know, I don't do vegan, Russell. So forget that.
There we go. But no, I know I'm conscious we've got Tom in the green room, so I'll bring him in shortly. But I'll do some comments.
Go
on Facebook. We haven't done it yet. But yeah, I mean, so Steve Bottomless joins. Even Steve, thanks for joining, by the way. He said, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Colin. We weren't bad, but we weren't great either. But I never felt we would lose. Oldham set their stall out and frustrated us. Players that thought I would... players I thought would run riot based on reputations didn't get my pulse racing. Let's hope Barrow sees a step change.
I thought it was quite ironic our two best players were players from last season. That's what sort of... Oh, okay.
I'd like to say, yeah. I mean, for me, Hepburn Murphy's runs were great. It was just the end product wasn't quite there at the moment.
He's like for me, he's like a controlled Lecco. Hepburn Murphy.
Yeah, exactly that. Phil Kelly says, I really think we need...
Powell.
Wow. If there is ever such a thing. Phil Kelly said, I think we need a better left back and someone who can take set pieces. Martin said, I really think Barrow is a marker in terms of if we can get something there, it will show honesty. Just going back a few more because there's quite a few on here. Grant said, Kelly for me was man of the match. He agrees with you, Colin. Gordon Wiley's joined this evening. Gordon, he said, how many more signings do you feel we need? So, I mean, I think obviously we've said two, but I mean, would you agree with that, Toby? Any more?
Toby said two. Probably.
I said I think he'd like three at this stage. But let's be right. If you have all this money and people are going to say, we can offer you a better goalkeeper, he's going to go and get a better goalkeeper. If he's going to say, I can offer you a whole new back four, and you can get a whole new back four, he's going to go get a whole new back four. I don't think he's precious about anybody. And I think that's the great thing as well. Like, not that you look at the team and think those people are in on reputation, but everybody is there to get shot at. There's not a single person in there who he will go, you're too good for this, because they're all playing in League Two. Yeah. You know, there are 3 divisions in this country alone that are better than where MK Dons are. So you could go to most clubs and find better players in any one of those positions. And if you're offered them, why would you not take it? Your mission is to get out. It's not to keep the people who are in the club happy, because the people who were at the club last season led them to 19th. You know, no one's safe.
Harsh reality. Yeah, absolutely. Indeed.
And we can all have favourite players. That's absolutely fine. But you've also got to recognise that your favourite player might not be the best player in the world.
Points mean prizes, as they used to say in the back in the day. Chris Turner said, we can adapt the formation and play different setups, and to confuse teams, we can play long ball or possession-based sides. To sort of, I think, reiterate what we were talking about with Paul Warren earlier. Grant said, Oldham produced more rolls than Greg's on Saturday. Be interested to see the Barrow result.
There was a lot of shirt pulling as well, wasn't there? Bloody annoyed the hell out of me.
Shirts, though, so it's probably one.
Say that again, Toby, sorry.
They are nice shirts, though, aren't they? So
I'd have took the shirt off and threw it at him and said, you want it, mate, you can have it.
I'd have told him where the club shop was. Yeah, exactly. Dave Carr did say, I believe there'll be more players coming in. What about loans potentially as well? Because the loan market we haven't.
Yeah, no, he's not gone into the loans as yet. I have spoken to him sort of briefly off the record on loans and what his sort of opinion is. not against them. I think he kind of wants people on
Do you
a
think
permanent.
he's keeping them in his back pocket for January?
I think for towards the end of the window, to be quite honest.
All right, okay.
Because I think the more games that teams play at this point, the more they will start to see who's going to be in their squads more permanently and who isn't. Like, let's be realistic, we're all going to be in that situation. So I think the longer that goes on, the more you'll see teams start to shake things up themselves. They'll think, oh, we need a left back, we need a centre half, we need this, that, and the other. They'll go out and get them, and then that'll make their first choice, second choice surplus to requirements, and then it becomes a little bit more evident. And it might be that there are some kids in the Premier League academies who might be sniffing around first team, who then become available or who aren't available. There might be some better players higher up the food chain who are thinking, well, if I stick about at my club, even if I don't play, well, I get promoted. Let's double my wages at the end of the season. Yeah. I don't want to drop down to League Two and risk that. Or you think, well, I'll go on loan at League Two, and then come back and come back to my parent club and potentially be a Championship footballer next season. So I think there's a lot of moving and shaking to be done at other clubs before he may consider loaning.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen that with Joe White last season. Obviously, a great player for us, but now at Leyton Orient, which strange one. I think he could have gone to a better place, to be honest, Toby. But
again, though, he finished 19th in League Two. Like, a great player.
He did. Yeah.
You know, if you can go to a top end League One side, it's a pretty decent jump, if you ask me. So he's jumped a division and a half, effectively.
Yeah, really. That's a fair point. Martin said, I was disappointed with Mendes, Lang and Collins on Saturday. I was expecting more.
I think everybody was expecting more, but we was expecting more from all of them because it was a crap 0-0 with no shots on target. So you can single those two out, absolutely, and you know they've come with a big reputation, but haven't they all?
Only 45 games to go, Toby.
Yeah, 100%. We got 90 half time. We got 90 halves of football left to watch.
Yeah.
So yeah. It is super early days. I mean, they've barely tied their laces before we're in this first game. So yeah, got to give it time. But that being said, you can't faff about. You can't hang about forever. We can't be walking into September thinking, oh yeah, well, we've scored 3 goals.
I agree.
Kept a whole bunch of clean sheets, and we got 7 points on the board. You can't be doing that. It's got you. These points mean exactly the same now as the points at the end of the season.
That's exactly what I said last week, Toby. I said, you know, that these first games are just as important as your last 5. I mean, we saw how, you know, Scott Lindsay, basically, that run he put together when he did, that saved our arses, really, didn't it?
100%. And similarly,
they're important.
And that start with Graham Alexander put the club in great stead, even though I don't think they won a game in September. But come the start of October, they were still mid-table-ish.
Yeah,
it wasn't doom and gloom at that point because you think, well, they put it together in August, had a crap September, October you just carry on.
Yeah,
they just never did that.
No, it'll be interesting. It will be interesting. Like you, it's one of those. I think the first few games will start to shake out and see what we're capable of. I'm really perversely excited by Barrow away, which probably sounds horrific because it's so far to go and so open.
My family are from Barrow. There's nothing to be excited about.
Well, I think more. Do you know what? Actually, there's a really good coffee shop up there. I've got a few mates, so at least I've got some reasons to go other than the football. But I think for me, just to see how we react to a team that we notoriously find difficult to break down or get a result from, that will be interesting to see what reaction we get after the Oldham game, and also the changes that we might see in the team.
Of course, and you want to see these guys in gritty away days as well. Like, it's all well and good having them in the polished surrounds of Stadium MK playing expansive football on a nice pitch, albeit probably about 3 weeks before it should be played on. But it's another thing entirely to go to a tight ground on a pitch that's not going to be great. You know it's not going to be great at Barrow, irrespective of what time of year you're going at. in. It's going to be windy. All that sort of stuff. You want to see him in those away days. You want to test their mettle.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, we'll circle back to Barrow. I'm conscious Tom's been patiently waiting in the green room for all things Bristol City. Obviously, we've got the Manning, the Twine connections. We'll talk to Tom about that. But I want to bring him in as well. So I think Tom's gone off camera for a minute, but hopefully he'll be on with us in a second. But I want to bring him in so we can at least talk all things cup related and a little bit of Manning and Twine, I guess, and a bit of the connections we've got there as well as other things. So, Tom, thank you so much for your patience and welcome to Don's Unplugged. Really appreciate you taking the time out to jump on with us. I think first things first, really, in terms of yourself, we've talked to death about obviously our pre-season, but how have you found obviously being so close last season with the playoffs, obviously the 6-0 aggregate defeat, which must hurt. We've all we can relate to that. Yeah, we can relate to that. And then, irony as it would be, your first game is against Sheffield United, I think, as well. So how have you seen, I guess, the shake-ups, obviously change your manager, your pre-season, your transfer window? How has that set you up, and what's your thoughts for the season ahead for Bristol?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you can hear me okay.
I'm going to turn you down.
Our summer's been a bit of a roller coaster, to be honest. As you described our playoff experience to a T, to be honest. And then as soon as that happened, Liam Manning decided to leave and join Norwich. I think that decision, if you've seen how many players they've signed, I think you can understand probably why he's done that. He seems to be like an extremely ambitious manager, and I just don't think our board or ownership matched his level of ambition, to be honest. But they did a good job and got a chap in named Gerhard Struber, previously of Barnsley. Then he did a bit of time in like the Red Bull setup. And he was at Cologne last season where he got them promoted from the German second division to the Bundesliga. Made a couple of good signings. Got Emil Rees in from Preston, goalkeeper on loan from Man United, and a good midfielder in Adam Randall from Plymouth. I wouldn't say we've done anything groundbreaking in the window. It's just been sort of steady, really. Our squad's probably better than it was last year, but to be honest, the rest of the championship have gone crazy. I don't know if you've seen what like Birmingham and Wrexham, and it's gone mad. So they're obviously taking a bit of a risk spending all that money, I would assume, as well. So we've just taken it steady, which is the Bristol City way, I would say.
Liam Manning. I mean, I know me and Aidan in particular, I'm not sure about what Toby's feelings are, but I was absolutely gutted when Liam Manning departed. I thought Liam Manning was something special. And I get the feeling you probably think the same, do you?
I do. I think he'll go a long way as a coach, but he was only with us for like 18 months. So it's hard to really build a bond, even though he got us playoffs, which probably sounds mad to an outsider saying this, but it took me a couple of days to get over it, really. And then we're on to the next one.
We're still getting over our playoff defeat.
Which one?
3 years later, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, all of them. But the last one,
I think,
was particularly painful.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, from a Manning connection perspective, having seen what he did and came so close, I personally feel, and again, Toby, we can probably talk about this now. Pete sold the club, maybe we wouldn't have done before. But I felt he got a raw end of the deal at the end of that season, because I said to Pete, and I said this to you, Colin, behind closed doors, I just said, what on earth were you thinking, not doing all you could to keep as much of that squad together? Wow. Scott Twine being part of that, I understand. I mean, at Burnley, that was a lot of money. That aside, Harry Darling was £1.5 million, nothing. And then we replaced him with kids. And then obviously, Manning took the fall for that. I felt
like every other manager before him.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's what cut me, because I didn't think he was a bad manager. I just think he was dealt a bad hand. Again. Because we replaced a damn good squad. And the comparable I'll use, you look at Plymouth's squad, the same season that we missed out on promotion.
Kept all their players.
Kept it together. Look what happened. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, for me, I think for everyone at Stadium MK, he will always be fondly remembered and will always receive a warm welcome. I think we were really gutted when he left Bristol, because we were looking forward to seeing him again.
He was the reason that they had the pre-season friendly arranged.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because he was talking to Liam Sweeting and saying, "Look, let's get one done." We're sort of waiting for that opportunity to because I mean, the fans never really had that opportunity to sort of say goodbye to Liam Manning or just have that moment of, do you know what? you're the best head coach we've had in a long, long time.
Yeah, bloody right.
So yeah, it was a shame that one fell by the wayside. Well, yeah, it was a shame it fell by the wayside, but also, yeah, Liam had already gone by that point, so it was kind of it would have fallen by the wayside anyway.
So I think, talking of that time, so like from your perspective, I know it was only 18 months, but did you feel like when he came in, because it wasn't necessarily the best start, I think there was a bit of struggle from what I could see. How was the reaction from the Bristol fans? Were you surprised to get him in? Did you feel that he got the ethos of Bristol City? I mean, obviously, ultimately with the playoffs before he left, yes, but how do you think his time in that 18 months will be seen looking back?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, that it probably didn't start ideally for him because Nigel Pearson, who I'm sure you've probably all heard of as our manager previously, didn't get off to the best start in the league, but none of us were expecting him to be sacked. And it kind of came as a surprise to see him being sacked. So I think whoever came in following on from Nigel Pearson, there'd be quite a lot of fans that were upset just purely for the fact that he left. I'd say first season was pretty steady. You could see as time went on, though, his tactics were really coming across. And we have some criticisms about him as Bristol City fans, but his ethos of playing football clearly got ingrained into the players. And I think we had a couple of, good win against West Ham in the FA Cup. I think we drew with them at their ground, the Olympic Stadium, which was a really big day out for Bristol City fans. And then we beat Southampton in the league as well. There were probably 2 games where we got some really good results under him. And obviously, second season was the playoff season. Yeah, those tactics, a couple of signings as well. You could really see he improved our team. Yeah,
good stuff. And then I guess with the Twine connection as well. Obviously, for us as MK Dons, he is a bit of a cult hero for us. Like everything he touched literally turned to gold that season he was with us. Tom, I mean, again, for me, I don't know, Toby and Colin, but one of the best memories was the Fleetwood draw, but he scored everything that game. I think it ended up, was it the 3-3?
Yeah, he got a hat-trick, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was all 3, just unstoppable free kicks, you name it. It was ridiculous. And the free kick touches, I genuinely thought when he went to Burnley, I thought he's going to go on to better and better things. Like this guy is unstoppable. It's like,
he scored a couple of decent free kicks for them, didn't he? I remember watching it on the TV only because it was Scott Twine, and he lined it up outside the box. I thought, well, I know where this is going.
Yeah. Well, exactly. But I think that was the thing. So he went to Burnley, had an injury, went to Hull on loan, where really they didn't rate him. He didn't really do much from when you speak to their fans, they've got really not much time for Scott. But then again, I guess at Bristol, he sort of started in and out of the team. But how have you found him? I mean, as I say, we've got nothing but love for the guy. But from a championship, it's a big step up. It's a big step up. But how did you find what he's doing within the squad? Is he an influence? Do you see him as a player that's integral to the team now, or do you see him as just a fringe player moving on at some point?
He was definitely a Manning favourite, I would say that. When he first signed, he came on loan originally from Burnley. He played a couple of games, scored on his debut, and I think he did his hamstring, and he was out for 2 or 3 months. And we signed him in January, so he missed basically most of the rest of the season with that injury. So we saw very little of him then. Second season, I would just say he was all right. I think it was hidden by the club, but I think he may have had an injury that he was dealing with all season. So from open play, we didn't see the best of him. But he definitely, his free kicks were something else. And I think all us Bristol City fans did our research. I think he's one of top 3 free kick takers in world football statistically. It's absolutely outrageous. His shooting from a dead ball. Yeah. I think he's got a better record than Messi. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. Champions League for Bristol at some point then, Tom. Hopefully. But no, I mean, as I say, I think, as you say, the dead ball situation is a gift. To have that in your squad as something to bring out, even if it's not, for sort of every game, he's playing an integral part. But if you're 0-0, 10 minutes to go, someone to bring on, that's a hell of a thing to be able to do ultimately. But I think when you look at this season, obviously new managers, you've talked about some new players, not set the world alight, but what are your sort of expectations, I guess, for Bristol City this season? Are you thinking sort of playoffs again? What looks like a good season for you ultimately?
Yeah, my honest expectations is we'll probably be in with a shout of the playoffs until January, February time, and then we'll probably just drop out. I'd imagine some of the teams with bigger budgets and ambitions in the Championship will kick on even further in January and spend some more money and probably just overtake us, to be honest. But I'd just be happy to see us play good football under our new manager. He's known for like a very direct style of play, high pressing, sort of the Red Bull sort of setup way. I think we'll probably punch above our weight in terms of like the on paper strength of our squad, just with the way he plays football. I reckon we're probably 8th or 9th this season, really, with the signings we've made and what everyone else in the Championship's done.
And how do you think he'll approach the Carabao Cup against us?
I reckon it'd probably be a very different team to what you see us play on Saturday, I would imagine. We've got, to be fair to us, we've got quite a bit of depth in most of the positions. We probably have almost 2 players that can play every position that you wouldn't be too uncomfortable starting. So I wouldn't really take too much from the team we play on Saturday. I'd imagine we rotate a fair bit, to be honest.
So you can see quite an amount of changes from Saturday to Tuesday night then?
I wouldn't expect a whole 11, but our game on Saturdays it's 5:30 p.m, so it's a very quick turnaround to play you guys. So I think there'll probably be at least 5 or 6 changes, I would say.
Right. I
thought you were going to say something, Colin. Charming.
Well,
Charming.
I hate dead air.
I know, indeed. I was going to say, Tom, look, obviously we talk all things League Two. Obviously, from Championship, it's been many years. I had hair in a waistline the last time we were in the Championship. That's how long ago it feels anyway. But I think from an outsider looking in, from what you've seen at MK Dons, obviously the acquisition, Paul Warren, some of the players, what do you see as an outsider's view of the club? Do you see that as, contention for a promotion? Are you surprised by what's going on? What's kind of your thoughts ultimately?
Do you hate us?
The opposition?
If I hated you, I wouldn't come on the podcast. There's definitely, definitely no ill will. I was trying to gauge. To be honest, I've had very little time to follow much outside of the Premier League for another YouTube channel I've got in Bristol City. But trying to gauge what you guys were suggesting, you signed a couple of players that have got experience in much higher divisions in your squad. I was interested to hear the name Callum Patterson as well. I recognise him as a fullback that used to play for Cardiff. So hearing him played as a number 9 is quite interesting.
Yeah.
I had him in a fantasy team one season and he scored like 8 or 9 goals, I think. They shoehorned him as a striker. I guess they must, with those kind of signings, your ownership must have ambitions to get out of that league this season, surely.
Well, not just ambitions, a lot of money. As you can imagine, we've spent a fair few quid in the summer, which is something that is totally alien to us as fans, because normally we're sitting here in April and thinking, right, who's going? We know it's going to happen. And like Toby alluded to earlier, normally the summer is just mayhem because there's players leaving by the boatloads and coming in by the boatloads, and we don't know what the bloody hell's going on until they kick off in August. It's crazy. But this year's been quite stable, hasn't it, Tobe?
It feels it, yeah. It's not been double figures out the door and double figures through the door. So it's actually been a relatively calm pre-season, which has been quite nice.
Oh, that calm.
Steady on. Yeah, exactly. Well, no, just some comments on the Facebook page as well for Tom. Phil said, I just realised I watch your fantasy football YouTube channel, Tom. So there we go. Shout out for Tom's other channel as well. And thanks for that, Phil. But I think to your point, Tom, is like, when you look at some of the score we've had, not just this season, but previously, you've got Craig McGilvery in goal. Obviously, he's played for Portsmouth in League One over the time, so there's some quality sort of there. And particularly at League Two, I think he's a really good keeper. Obviously, not Harry Maguire, but Lawrence Maguire. We've got Dan Crowley, who's obviously was at Notts County, quite a big player for them. Obviously, you mentioned Patterson, Mendes, Lang, and a few others there. So I think from our perspective, what Colin and Toby sort of will allude to as well is with our previous manager, Pete, brilliant guy. I had a lot of time for him, but would always confess he just did not have the money to get us to where we wanted to be. It was a case of, I'll keep you financially stable.
He finally admitted it.
But we're not really he did.
Let's not build him up too much.
I thank you for the fact that, Colin, you look at some of the clubs and what's gone on over the years, we've been stable.
So, to be honest, you knew what you were always getting from Pete, didn't you?
You did. But with the new ownership coming in, Kuwaiti consortium, £10 billion touted as like, one of the richest consortiums that are going. It is quite a sit back and like, wow, we didn't expect this, particularly in League Two, to be able to say that you don't have to sell. It's really an odd thing, Tom, to be honest, because usually you make the money, sell, and try
it
and
was
survive.
quite ironic, Tom, because you probably don't know this. For weeks and weeks and weeks previous to the sale, Pete kept going, I can't just magic a bit of thin air, you know. And lo and behold, 1, 2.
Well, there you go. He did.
Yeah,
he did.
it was
But,
mental.
So no, absolutely. So no, I think for us having that I say new depth to the squad. I think that's the thing. We've never really had depth in position, and there's still some work to be done. But I think obviously from a championship perspective, Paul Warne obviously was at Derby, Rotherham, and places like that. So what's your view of him as a manager? And are you surprised he came to League Two?
I got to say, I'm going to sound very unqualified to answer that question. I don't know a whole lot about him, to be completely honest with you. But I think, again, it goes back to the philosophy, I guess, of your signings as well. If you're able to attract, he's not stupid man is Paul Warne, is it? If he's gone down to League Two, he obviously believes in the club and the strategy that your new board has now, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, hopefully, things go well. But like we saw last season, we were promised that favourites to go up and ended up 19th, which is, it's one of those things happen to anyone, right? But I guess in terms of the cup game coming up, what's your analysis of that? Are you, is there a particular threat you're worried about? Do you see this as a banana skin or a routine Bristol City win? Ultimately, I mean, you're at home advantage as well.
Yeah, it's the first home game of the season for us, so we probably won't. I can't imagine we'll sell out because it's just a Tuesday night game. But yeah, there'll be a lot of hype around the fans because it is our first home game of the season. I still think, to be honest, our manager's getting across his philosophy a little bit. We've had a couple of pre-season friendlies where we've played okay, but some of our key players have gotten, probably our best players are a chap named Jason Knight, Republic of Ireland international, who has come on leaps and bounds since we signed him from Derby. And he was getting a little bit frustrated in both the times I've seen him with the lack of passes he's had and just the change of football that we've got under this new manager. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time for us to bed into that system. So in short, I don't really know what to expect, to be honest. And we'll probably rotate as well. So there'll be a load of players that haven't started under this new manager. It's going to be all change.
How would you define the style or the system of Bristol City, in this first game or, going through the season? What would you say it was? I mean, we've been known for the MK way, which is pass the ball to death and bore everybody stupid. And, and we've gone, we've played direct football and we're now playing a bit of a mix and match with that. Looking at what we saw on Saturday, there was a little bit of passing it around. There was a bit of quick play. So what are you expecting from Bristol City?
Yeah, there's two things I think I've seen from Struberball so far. One of them is just manic Struberball. That's what we're calling it. We had Manning Ball last season. We've got Struberball this year.
Yeah, we've had Manning Ball.
It's just high octane press when we don't have the ball, to be honest. His entire squad is expected to run themselves legless all game, trying to win the ball up high. And as soon as we win it, we had an open training session on Friday last week. And a couple of the drills he was doing was just get the ball, get it forward as quickly as possible. And that's the kind of play that we're looking at, which is a complete opposite to Liam Manning ball. But I think you're expecting high press and get the ball forward as quickly as possible is what he's trying to do.
All right, okay. So what do you think our strategy is, Toby?
Hope.
Sound like Star Wars.
No, to be honest, I think it's one of those games, much like the Watford game last year, where you go into it and you just hope you don't get an absolute stuffing. I don't think that the Carabao Cup is going to hold any answers for Paul Warne. It might highlight a few players who he might think, actually, I might want to keep him about, but I think it's going to be largely second string. I think it's going to be one of those where he gives minutes to players who aren't really in his plans. Might put a few in the shop window if they come and put in a decent show. But yeah, I think ultimately they go down there to just not get embarrassed, and have a bit of a go, because what's the harm in it? No one's expecting Dons to go down to Ashton Gate and get anything, are they?
No, but I mean, look, we went down to Watford one year. I mean, not the last time, but and we never expected
not the last
that.
time.
And that was an amazing night, a cracking night. I remember that.
That's it. And,
Colin, I will remind you that was the same season we got relegated.
Yeah, but it was still a great game.
So
that was probably the highlight of the season.
Oh, it spiraled badly from there. It only went downhill from there. And that was like third game of the season.
I can't even remember who scored, but I remember we won 2-0.
Dara Burns got, I think, Matt Dennis and
Dara
Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dennis and Dara Burns. That was it.
Who was
And
the
you
other
wonder
one?
why we got relegated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Who could compete with such quality? I joke, of course. Anyway, I guess before we obviously let Tom go, what do we think for the game in terms of results? How do you see it going, Cole? I'll go to you.
Could you
first.
come back to me? I'm thinking about it.
No, not at all. That's why I'll go to you first because I can see your face.
I can see both teams changing up their Saturday squads up. Yeah. I don't think we'll win. I think we'll go for a narrow defeat. I'll say 2-1 to Bristol.
2-1. Okay. Toby?
3-0 Bristol City.
Oh, cheers, Toby. I'm glad we had you on.
Better than the 5 we got humped by Watford by last year.
Well, that is true. Go on, we'll leave Tom still last.
Exactly.
Aiden.
Do you know what? I like Toby said, I have absolutely no question that we'll probably get a loss from that game. Like I said, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Bristol City because of Manning and Twine.
We've played them a few times, haven't we?
We've played them a few times, but I mean, they're at home. They've got a great following. They've got a decent squad. I've seen the manager as a Borussia Mönchengladbach, half German, so I know very well what he's capable of. I actually saw one of the games against Fortuna Düsseldorf, one of the derbies last season. So he's very tactically astute. He's very tactically astute, and I expect us to be run ragged and pressed hard. So I hate to say it, but I think 3 or 4.
Really?
I can see 3 or 4. But if you saw the style of play that I saw, I know the Bundesliga is a slightly open, league, and so is the second league. That said, it's the cup. I think we won't play our strongest 11, so I think that will have an impact to it. But I just think these are the sort of games that test fitness, just to see the ability of those players. I go with no expectation. If we get a 1-0 win, I'd be over the moon. But I can't see it.
Well, I'd just like to thank you two because I'm just contemplating now selling my ticket.
There you go.
You put me right off it.
I'm glad we're giving you that high hopes.
Well,
what do you think, Cole?
Thanks for that. I've already predicted we'll lose, but I don't think it'll be a cricket score. But I'm going to say they'll go 2-0 up and we might get a late consolation, but that'll be about it. And I'll be satisfied with losing 2-1. Anything more than that's a bonus. It's penalties, isn't it? Is it penalties? I mean, not that we need to worry.
Yes, one round.
Not that we need to worry about it. I mean, it's penalties if they need it.
If we got that far, be an achievement goal with that. I just think, look, championship quality. Given Bristol City were in the playoffs last season, there's depth there. And I say the new manager, I'm not dissing us at all, but I just think there's depth, there's quality. They're at home. That's a tall order.
Right, Tom, go on. Let's have your. Because Toby's got to go to bed because he's got to go to Barrow on Saturday.
Yes, yeah.
I've got a bit of positivity to throw your way, I think. I'm looking at a result we had on the 8th of November 2022 in the EFL Cup. Similar sort of, I'd say, feeling around the game to this one. We lost 3-1 to Lincoln City, and it was the worst I've ever seen us play. So we do have a cup upset in us. I would also say we struggle traditionally to break down a team that play with a low block. I don't know if that's something you might do, but we always struggle to score goals against a team. We might not have done,
but we might now.
Yeah, and also I think with Struber, we're going to get hit on the counter attack a few times this season. He wants a lot of bodies running into the box at every opportunity.
Of commitment going forward.
Yeah, so I think we could get caught on the counter, and we love a soft goal at Bristol City as well. So there's a bit of positivity to cut your way. I reckon I'm going to say 3-1 to us, but I do think you'll score. You'll find a way to score against us.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Well,
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Are you going, Toby?
Yeah, I've got a dart, but I do have one question for Tom.
No, I mean, are you going to this game on Tuesday? Not now.
Yeah, I'll be there as well. Yeah, but I do.
And you're at Barrow on Saturday?
No, I'm not at Barrow on Saturday, actually.
Oh, who's at Barrow?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, thanks for that.
Barrow at the domestic. Apparently, Cole. I don't know about you.
Someone will be there, I'm sure.
Oh, well, that's all right.
My question for Tom is: my fantasy team was dishevelled last season. Who do I need to pick?
You need to look at the defensive contribution points that they brought in this season. Okay. That's an absolute game changer to FPL that I don't think people have cottoned on to.
So don't just stick like the cheapest defence in that you can and concentrate going forward.
Yeah, you can pick cheap defenders, but pick ones that do well for the DEFCON points. And Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest is going to be good this season as well. He might not be a name you think of, but he's going to be good.
I can't believe you're getting inside information, Toby.
No, you heard it first here. I mean,
our
this
journalists
is,
work, Colin. We don't do anything off our own top, mate. We ask the experts.
Absolutely.
Oh, right. Well, why not?
And so, Toby, before you go, I know you got to go, but I mean, what's your predictions for the Barrow game? How do you see that going as well?
I think this will be the test of their grit and determination. So I think if they can score a goal, I think they win it 2-0. If not, I don't know that we can stomach another 0-0, but all right, 0-0.
Will that be our 5th one in 6 games?
Yeah.
We've had 4 0-0s in the last 5 games, Tom.
And only scored only 1 goal under Paul Warne. So
I've been there with other managers. I feel your pain. I've been there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going for 2-0 as well, Toby. So I'm on your side. Aidan?
I'm going to be there, and you're going to laugh at me for this, but I reckon 4-1 Dons.
Take it.
Right. I'm laughing.
Take it.
There you go. Said it.
Take it.
I mean, Tom, just for a joke, do you want to predict it?
You want me to predict it? It's a long way to go, and there's not a lot going on in Barrow. I know that much.
No, I know
I hope you win. I'm going to say 2-0, just so you come away happy for your long journey.
Hey,
nice one. I've always liked Tom.
Well,
quality,
a bit of a topical thing. I hope we don't get sunk in Barrow.
Indeed. And then the Robins. You hope we don't get shat on from a great height. Is what you were going to say. There we go.
I would say be careful of our seagulls in Bristol as well. They are lethal.
I know they're brutal. Yeah, they're brutal. Absolutely brutal down there. I say my niece is at university in Bristol, so I've encountered a few, Tom. They're interesting, that's for sure. But no, look, firstly, thank you, Toby, for taking the time to come on. Really enjoy having you on the show. Always love your input, so thank you for that.
Toby.
Hopefully see you want to get third. Yeah, that's why you got the ball out, hat-trick ball. There you go. So you're now officially
hat-trick ball. You're on there. Nice. Got you on.
Beautiful.
He's put you on it. He's put you on it. So hopefully we'll see you again soon.
For sure.
Catch up a bit more. And then Tom, again, thank you so much for coming and give us your thoughts as well. Really appreciate it, and so wish you the best for the rest of the season as well. Hope you do get to those playoffs and get another nail-biting end to the season for you as well.
Hopefully it's better for both of us at the end of the season.
Absolutely.
So, all the best, Tom, Toby. Thanks very much.
Nice one. Cheers, boys. See you later.
Take care. Thanks again, guys. Always great to have Toby on, and say Tom's great as well. So good. I mean, that's
also great to have me and you on, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, is it? Where are you, Colin? You're that way. You're that way. There we go. There we go. That way.
Right. Do you want to read a few socials out if we've got any?
I can do.
Has anybody got the answer to my question yet?
No one's got the answer to your question yet.
Well, I'll go right. Anybody still watching? If there's anybody still watching, if you haven't all gone home or gone to bed or got bored, a lot of people have got close to it. Greg's.
It is Greg's. It's close.
Greg's. So there's your clue.
You haven't pulled one out tonight, Cole.
No, I haven't. I'm trying not to give a clue. I mean,
I know. I could see you're desperate. You're desperate. I know. I'm waiting for you to munch under the table.
So it is an item from Greg. So the first one to get it wins a baseball cap. Right, social.
Anyway, so we've got Colin Gids, evening Colin. He reckons 3-1 Dons for the Barrow game. Don Doyle, evening Don. Hope you're doing well.
I couldn't get your cap across to Ireland, mate. Nobody came to see me. But I'll keep hold of one for you.
It's all right. We can send him over one. It's fine.
No
problem at all. I'll do the customs declaration. Don't worry. It's all good. Sam's put 3-0 Dons. Steve Bottomley has come up with an answer for the Gregs. He says steak bake.
Wrong.
I know. But I was trying to build it up.
I thought Steve Bottomley. Great, he's got it.
Phil said sausage roll. Grant has said donuts.
Which sort of donut?
There you go.
Grant's already got a cap anyway.
Well, it's all right. You can have two. One for the little one. Sam and Don both said sausage rolls. Obviously, it's wrong. Donuts is the theme, but which donut? So you're warm. There we go. And Phil said 2-1 Dons as well for our Facebook comments. And I'm jumping over, because James is in this, I'm jumping over to the other side of the thing now. Onto the YouTube. Lucas joined. Yeah, Lucas joined. He said hello. And Russell has given us his thoughts on what the actual condiments and desserts may be.
Sheila, reach across and punch him.
Here we go. Do you want to confirm that is
wrong?
Exactly. There we go. Kerry Ann has put sugar donut.
There's more to it, Kerry Ann. More to it. More to it.
Phil's put jam.
Hey, we have a winner.
There we go.
Phil who?
Sam did put Sam put ice ring donut. So there we go. Grant had 3 hats already. Phil Kelly. So Phil Kelly has won the hat. So Phil, if you are down at Stadium MK next home game, let us know. We're outside the Cavs bar
after
come collect
1
your hat.
We'll give you a baseball cap. Well done, Phil. They are answer jam donuts.
Well, you say that, but you've caused debate because Christian said sugar donuts are the OG, Cole. So there we go. The OG, the best, right, okay. The original. That's what. Yeah. So this down with the kids, right? Down with the kids. Anyway, thank you for your advertisement of Greg's. Other bakeries are available. Indeed. I will say thank you, Cole, as well. So we got another hat. We've got a few other things to be given away. I won't give away too much just yet, but I will say a special thank you to Steve Bottomley, who is donating some gifts to us for the show to use as prizes. So
is that the stuff you can sell at the car boot sale?
Outrageous. Don't listen to it, Steve. Don't listen to it. But no, look, massive thank you, Steve. I know he's watching the show, and I really appreciate it. And we do, like I say, we do this not for anything other than a bit of fun. So anything we get given as prizes, we always give away, so everyone else gets to enjoy as well. So there we go.
And if anybody could lend us a few quid, we've got to pay the subscription at the end of the month.
For the renewal of the subscription, exactly. Phil said he's on holiday for a few weeks. Not a problem, Phil. Let us know when you're back on the show. Comments, and obviously we'll arrange a time with you, or drop myself or Colin a DM on Facebook, and we can pick it up from there.
Don't worry, Phil.
Well. But Steve's done a laughy face for the boot sale.
All right. Don't worry, Phil. Your hat is safe, and your Mark Simon. Come and pick your cap up.
No pressure. And when Steve brings us the goodies, if there is a bullseye rubber bully in there, Cole, from the boot sale, I'll let you know. So there we go. Good stuff. So that was pretty much most of what we went through today. I think obviously Warren's in talks we talked about briefly,
one thing we haven't talked about.
There is, but I just want to circle back on that because we heard from Toby. What's your thoughts on where we need to land with transfers? Because obviously there's talk of 2, but do you think that's enough? Do you think there's more needed? Or
I don't know. I actually go the other way a little bit, actually.
I think so.
I think a fullback, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I told you last week I had a little chat with somebody that's closely attached to the club, and he said most of our injured players are back in training. I think Thompson's close. Yeah. I think Shering's close. Do we need another centre half? I don't know. We've got 4. We're only going to play 2.
Well, I think to your point, like injuries to me, you think of like Thompson, you think of Shering. You've also got Crowley coming back. Let's not forget as well. So there's some decent quality. I mean, Thompson was really unlucky last season because when he was on, I thought he was brilliant. Yeah. So I mean, if we see the same Thompson come back, I think there's some leadership at the back, which will really, really help tighten things up. Crowley, now he's got the quality, no disrespect to last season's team, but around him that will hopefully free him
we'll look at Kelly last week. Kelly had something that Kelly's not had all last season. All of a sudden he's playing alongside people that are actually doing their bloody well job. And oh, good night, Jane.
Okay. Nice to see you, Jane. Thanks for joining. Hopefully he's put it on the big TV on the wall.
Yeah, you watch it in bed, Jane. Watch it in bed. And
exactly. Nice. Thanks you, Christian. Really appreciate
Yeah.
the comment. It's a great show. Thanks for bringing it to YouTube. No, you're very welcome. We do it for the fans. We enjoy doing this. So yeah, any feedback is appreciated. So thank you. Sorry,
Well,
Con,
I got a
carry
bit of
on.
feedback from my missus. She quite enjoys me doing this show because it gives her 2 hours with a remote control.
On Netflix or something. Yeah, exactly.
Watching some crap American bloody soap or something. I don't know.
There we go.
No,
But yeah,
so
I mean,
I do think we need cover as a left back. I don't think we need anybody up front. I don't. I might be wrong, but I don't think we do. And I'd probably go with Toby. I would say another wide man, somebody that can be probably capable of. I know we're looking for the silver bullet here, left and right wing, but modern day players do switch about as quite a bit. So yeah, just someone to give us something a little bit different.
See, I've got a question for you, Cole, because this has been on my mind, as you know, my thoughts on him. But
you're not on about that OnlyFans video, are you?
You always have to bring it down, but there we are. No, I've actually said at the beginning of the show, Hendry, I rate his work ethic. Granted, it's unfortunate, he's on the transfer list. Scott Hogan, for me, I'm not.
I'd have had it personally. I'd have had it the other way round. I'd have let Hogan go and kept Hendry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are. I don't know what anyone else's thought. Again, feel free to give us your input. Everyone's watching, but it's strange because his attitude last season towards the end wasn't the best in places. I get the frustration. I know it was a frustration just because of the whole situation. But for me, I think, like you say, if we do let Hendry go, if someone becomes available, and I think that's the whole thing Warren will look at, if someone, even on the loan market, that could just give us something a bit more up front, maybe. I don't know because I just think injuries again. If we get injuries front two,
we could be struggling.
But then again, like you say, we've got Lecco back. He seemed steady start. I thought on the weekend for his substitution. I thought he did okay.
He looked pretty good in the pre-season friendlies, Lecco. But I mean, obviously, it's a job to work out what you're playing, isn't it?
It is. But no, I think then that's my point, and I'm glad you said it, Cole. I think we need to focus on the ones that are coming back from injury. I don't think
he should need. He doesn't give me the impression that he's a reactionary manager. Like, oh shit, we've got a lot of bloody,
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's the right ones come along.
And let's be honest. In the last 5, we haven't conceded a goal under Warne in the league, have we? So we were a little bit concerned about the defence last week, and I think from what we saw on Saturday, there was no need to be concerned. We might change our mind on Saturday at Barrow, but I don't think we've got too much to worry about. All round the park, really.
No, well, exactly. I think it's to say, just injuries permitting, and we should be okay, touch wood. But I'm like, I'm hopeful, and I think that's the thing. You forget about the ones coming back, and when you start to factor that in, it starts to change.
I mean, people are going to get injured, people are going to get suspended, but I think we've got a fair amount of alternatives there. I mean, the refreshing thing for me, and I think you mentioned this last week, is to look at the bench. Cheers, Christian. I think you look at the bench, and we've got alternatives now. When last season we never did we? You looked at the bench and thought, well, who's going to come on and change the game? And there wasn't anybody, was there? Not really.
Not really, mate. Not really. I mean, I think that's the thing. It goes back to my point. I think we had too many of the same people. Like we were a glutton of midfield. Well,
you were saying it from bloody week 1, mate, weren't you? Well, it was.
And I hate to say it because I really wanted it. I kept saying I want to be proven wrong, but I just said
I don't think you were.
I saw the transfers we got in. No, but I just said as soon as I saw the transfers come in, I thought we're getting nothing. This is just too unbalanced, and there's no strategy. This season, it feels like there is. I'm hoping for a top 3, Cole. I don't think we'll run away with it. I think the league's a bit tight, and that's some good teams in the league. Let's not forget who's come down and the ones that have come up. I think there'll be
I'll be absolutely stunned if we don't go up this season. I think it'll hurt me more than last season. I think.
Well, yeah, same. But I mean, when you look at it, who do you? I mean, I've got my in my mind, but who do you fancy for top 3 this season?
Chesterfield, definitely.
Yeah, Chesterfield as well.
I think will be hurting from last season. I think you remember like one year we done Mansfield, didn't we, on the last game of the season?
Yeah.
And Mansfield came across as that team that, okay, we made a big cock up, but we ain't going to make it again. And they went up the next year, didn't they? And I think Walsall are going to be that team this year, that they're not going to make a mistake. They're going to get in the top 3 and nothing's going to be left to chance. I might be wrong, but Chesterfield, Walsall and us, I think, are the top 3. In what order? Don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think for me, like you, Chesterfield definitely. I think they've got the good gaffer. They've got a good squad. We know that. Cambridge as well, I think, could be there or thereabouts. So it all depends, doesn't it? Well, so I think you're right, but again, it's one of those. It's like Notts County, isn't it? Notts County.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't talked about Notts County, but I mean, Notts County are not far away, are they? And certainly a team of beating anybody on their day. So.
No, absolutely. JJ's just dropped a comment as well. He said, realistic lads, Hogan is better than Hendry. Think the hate for Hogan is unnecessary. I don't think there's any hate there. JJ, everyone's entitled to opinion. I think it's just, again, from what we saw behind the scenes as well as in the club, that just the attitude was a little bit off.
Yeah.
And certainly, I won't go into it, but there was a few things.
There was something that happened, wasn't there?
There was at Port Vale, and there was a few things with fans outside the ground as well, which were not called for. But no, there's no hate there. But I just think attitude. If he applied the attitude, I think he could be.
Well, if he applied that attitude on the pitch, he might be a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. But no, absolutely, everyone's entitled to their opinions. And again, appreciate the feedback there, JJ. So thank you. Christian's brought another comment on as well before we move on, and he says, "Feel like once we get our rhythm and the team settles, we'll kick on. Isn't going to happen for a few games yet." Yeah, I mean, again, this change, right? It takes a bit of time, but I'm hoping that the away game against Barrow,
I'm hoping we've learned something from playing Oldham.
I mean, Oldham is going to be tough.
Yeah, we always knew that. Yeah, I mean, when you look at it now in the cold light of day, you think to yourself, yeah, Oldham back in the EFL, they're not going to be rolled over that easy. They had a bloody good game plan. They probably knew they weren't as good as us, so they used the old shirt pull and what have you, and all the rest of it. They never over-committed themselves, certainly not the last 20 minutes anyway. So,
no,
and I think we're going to face a lot of that this season.
Yeah, I thought, again, it's the old cliche, but I feel like people will come to Stadium MK and feel like, this is the team to beat. And
yeah,
set up shop to make it difficult.
I don't really like saying it because it almost feels a little bit arrogant, but playing us is going to be some people's cup final this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll see, Cole. We'll see. Again, early days, but I'm confident, which is more than I was last season. Just potentially you have three or four managers come in.
Don't worry, we'll knock that out of you.
Thank you. Many years of Wimbledon and MK Dons, and that's probably why I've aged horribly with this club, but I love it to death. So there we go. JJ's just come back in and we'll move on. He said, not saying hate for him, saying generally that seems to be a lot of negativity towards what was clearly a very decent forward, not directly aiming that at you guys.
I think he's got the opportunity this season to prove himself.
To prove it.
Yeah, to prove it.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's the thing. I think last season, again, I get it, frustration.
We know he's going to get the supply this season.
Yeah, the ability is there. We know that, and again, he could step forward and make a real impact. But that is down to his mentality, and if he can bring that to the
when he gets his chance, mate, he's got to take it.
He's got to, and a few others to boot as well from last season. I mean, Tomlinson for me did more in that game against Oldham than he did the whole of last season.
I mean, there's a few. There's like Tom said earlier, and I think Toby said it as well. There's no givens to the starting lineup this season. No givens at all.
Not at all, and which is good. Yeah. Which is good. You don't want
people fighting for the place, and
you want people there on their ability, not because of your mates with the gaffer or whatever it is. But no, like you said, Cole, we'll see what goes on away on Saturday. I'm confident, which is probably delusional, but we'll see. Anyway. You wanted to go on and said, moving on, we haven't quite finished, so over to you, my friend.
I mean, I just picked up a few things on social media, and obviously it was our first time really back at Stadium MK, well, for the bulk of the fans, and as we know, it was the highest attendance in the EFL2 for the day.
Yep, it was.
But I've heard a few, not moans, but sort of pointing out
gripes.
that gripes. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I did briefly stick my head in the door at Lewington's, and I can't deny it's been decked out well, but bugger, God, did it look sparse in there?
Well, I will say, because I went up as well, spoke to Ollie Charnock and a few of the club reps, and it's not finished.
No.
It's just a case of they're going to be adding more. Some shirts are going to go back up on the walls. There's going to be a few more graphics and
there needs to be seating.
Well, I was about to come on to that.
Garden
There's going to be a
seating
few
looks bloody awful.
I was about to say, and a few changes to the seating.
I wouldn't have them in my back garden.
Well, indeed, but I think it's an improvement of what it was. I'm grateful to the club to actually following through on what you and I
me and you
for 5
started,
years have been
basically,
asking for.
yeah.
But yeah, really pleased to see the changes. More to come, and Club Red as well. I mean, again, I don't know who's watching, who's in Club Red. I obviously spoke to a few people, saw a few pics. Spoke to Ian Ruddy. He was in Club Red.
Apparently, there was a lot of TVs in Club Red, but apparently they had to sort of let people go out on the concourse-y bit outside because there wasn't enough room in there. Yeah. So, I mean, you can say, hey, that's good, it was packed out, but,
I think, and again, I think from speaking to Ollie, there's some things they're going to do, whether there'll be some covers for certain people to be able to do that. So they're again, these things have been put in, they're still reviewing it, to be fair.
Did you notice there was no covers behind the goal in the Oldham area?
Yes, I did, yeah.
No, I thought that was a little bit. There you go. They're probably being a bit more vigilant about, people standing on the concourse watching the game. So,
yeah, I mean, to be fair to Oldham fans as well, and again, I know a few of them been in contact as well, which was nice, and just said that they enjoyed the facilities, and obviously didn't want to be named necessarily, but I thought they brought a decent away following for their first game.
They were going in away, weren't they? Yeah, so fair play to them.
No, fair play to them. Although it did make me laugh when they said it was like a library, because I thought it was quite rowdy from the MK side, to be honest. But there we go.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I trust they've been in their own ground, have they?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. But
what a dump! Right. Anyway,
it's an experience, Colin. It's an experience. But anyway,
I won't say what I said about it.
It's
I might start getting complaints. Right. Anything else?
No, I think that's your lot. I think we've got all the comments through. I know Dave Bosdet joined. He said hello as well. So again, apologies, Dave, and apologies to everyone else. We haven't got through all the comments. It's obviously been 2 of them going up.
We didn't have James tonight, as we could have probably covered it a little bit better. We did think about bringing somebody else in, but we just couldn't think of anybody.
Well, Hammond just come in and just said, drum rolls as he comment. By the way, if you want your comments on the screen, you need to watch on YouTube, not Facebook. So again, just you guys know. But he said he was in Club Red, good experience, but not enough seating. And yes, there was about 90 TVs.
I heard that.
90 must have been bright.
And anybody concerned about the size of the screens in Lewitons, they have located the original TVs that the MKDSA purchased. They've found them, and they're going to get them on the wall. So
they're in the cupboard.
They're in a cupboard, yeah.
There we are. Matt's also come back on and just said, so I'm just going to say, by the way, thanks, Hamid, for that comment. That was really nice to hear from the Club Red side. My biggest annoyance on Saturday is they've swapped out Pepsi. Do you know what? I am really glad someone said this, because I actually felt the same, Matt. You are not alone. I am an advocate of Pepsi. I love Pepsi, by the way. I've got nothing against Coke, but it would have been nice to have the option of
other
both.
colas are available.
Other colas are available. But I do like Pepsi. I'm sorry, Pepsi Max particularly. I just wonder if the club have signed a contract or something, obviously with the vendor. Obviously something's changed in the background, and maybe that's why we're now at Coke and not Pepsi. But yeah, although I will say, if you're a Pepsi fan like me, the Casbah does do Pepsi Max, Pepsi Cherry, and other varieties as well. The Casbah, well, the Casbah, the sponsors of this show, love Cas, top quality food. But he does do the Pepsi. So if you need a Pepsi before you go in next time, Matt, like me, grab one from him. You can take it and at least your Pepsi in the stadium. They do. They do. But there we go. But I'm glad he said that because, yeah, like you, it was really annoying to me as well, Matt. But I didn't say anything because I thought maybe it's just me. But no, thank you for that. So there we go, Cole. That's our comments commented out. Done.
That's a wrap, is it?
Almost a wrap.
So you're going to Barrow. I'm not going to Barrow. I'm going to Norfolk.
Hold on, Chris has come back with something. Go on. You're going to Norfolk to go to your retreat,
my retreat.
in Hunstanton.
When is the Greg's opening with a jam donut special?
I'll tell you what. Next week we'll do a jam donut giveaway for the next home game. Cole. We'll think of something and we'll go and buy some Greg's because we in Wellingborough, because we're both in Wellingborough, we have a drive-through.
We have a drive-through Greg's.
Yeah.
We have
yeah. Why not have a a cathedral? But we've got a Greg's drive-through. Who else can say
posh.
That? Yeah, exactly. There are cities out there that can't say they've got a Greg's drive-through, Cole. So there we go. But we can get some of those on our way down and give them out to our first 5 guests who meet us at the next home game. There we go. Sponsored by Collins Jam Donuts. Why not? Why not? A bit of a laugh. But there we go. Matt said, yes, Aidan, I agree. Pepsi Max.
I can't believe we're still talking about bloody Pepsi.
No, Matt, you carry on, my friend. I'm glad to see someone else who's repping the Pepsi brand. And he's just said as well, he'll definitely be going to Kaz then if they don't bring Pepsi Max back. 100%. Can't disagree with you.
Okay.
Can't disagree with you. And Phil said, cheers, lads. Enjoyed the show. He's going to be at the Walsall game for his cap, so we'll make sure that we've got the cap ready for you. Come and see us outside Gate 7 by the Casbah, Phil.
I'll have to give it to you because, as you know, I'm on holiday that week.
I know you'll be on holiday.
So I'll have to give it to you. So
exactly.
Okay.
There we go.
Right, that's about it then.
So anything else, Phil? Is there any more for any more?
I don't think so. We're back next week, yeah?
Same time, same place. Hopefully, with another Payne's player rating, we'll have a away fan on for the show. I think to be confirmed, but we definitely have someone come on the show to talk about all things. We'll have James. Hopefully, we'll have James back as well. Yeah, hopefully James Florence is doing well. Everything's okay from hospital. So we're thinking of you, mate. Let us know. And lots more besides, because obviously, Colin, there are things that we are going to do on this show this season.
Really?
That are slightly different to last season because we've talked about
I'm not
it.
doing it naked.
Well, there you go. That's one thing that everyone's taken a big sigh of relief about. But no, in all seriousness, we have got other things that we're going to experiment with this season.
Well, yeah,
Keep tuned, and you might see us popping up with a few vignettes outside of our normal designated Wednesday slot. That's all I'll say for now.
Yeah. And we're trying to line guests up, and we've got a few irons in the fire. So when we get the news on that, we'll let you know, obviously. And
we have, and I'm not going to give it away yet, but we have got some big guests coming this season on this show. I'll leave it there. And I don't mean size-wise. I mean in terms of you want to watch. Ollie's a big legend. We love Ollie. But no.
Get out of my town, Ollie Welsh.
Hunstanton, indeed. But yeah, stay tuned. There's a lot to come in the next few weeks. We're excited by it. Hopefully you will be when we get to that as well.
Probably will be.
I think all it leaves us to say is for Colin to say
it's show 40 next week. Unbelievable. Can't believe it.
40th anniversary.
40th anniversary. Our Ruby anniversary. So
it will be. Ruby Murray.
So it's just one thing left to say.
I think there's one thing left to say.
Say goodnight, Aidan.
Good night, Aidan.
Come on, you Dons. Wow.
Come on, you Dons. See you next week. Take care, everyone.
Bye. Good night.